Welcome to KeepITRealStudios, the only channel on YouTube that keeps it real.
UFC 314 is officially a thing of the past. And can I just say, it was absolute madness. We had insane knockouts, submissions, and wild matchups. We also got to see one of the most greediest main events we've seen in a long time. Every fight on this main card brought something new to the table, whether it was pure dominance or just straight up chaos. UFC 314 is something that will truly go down in history, and I'm always grateful to have witnessed it. To start off the main card, we had Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. This fight didn't last long at all. From the start of it, Dominic Reyes looked extremely sharp, tagging Krylov early with a solid jab. Krylov attempting to blaze forwards to hurt Reyes, but Reyes seeing it coming from a mile away. He slid back and cracked him with a huge left hand that knocked him out clean. Vintage Reyes making his moment right there, still showing us that he has dangerous power, and there's much more to come for him in the near future. The next matchup on the card was a featherweight bout between Bryce Mitchell and Gene Silva. Arguably, this was probably one of the most intense build-ups to the fights on UFC 314. It was clearly obvious that both men did not like each other, and they wanted to rip each other's heads off. When the fight started, Bryce Mitchell opened up with some great calf kicks, but quickly the things turned. Silva, throughout the fight, didn't look like he was taking Bryce Mitchell seriously. He was having fun, smiling, talking to Bryce the whole time, and even looking towards the crowd. But Silva still showed to be locked in. He stopped most of Bryce's takedowns and landed a flashing spinning wheel kick. In round 2, Silva dropped Bryce with a huge nasty left hook and a straight right. Then he completely took over. After dominating Bryce Mitchell, an excellent jiu-jitsu fighter on the ground, he finished Bryce with a tight ninja choke, putting him to sleep. A massive statement win for Gene Silva and total control from start to finish. The fighting nerds truly are building one of the best starts in the UFC, and Gene Silva is a true contender in the featherweight division. The next matchup on the card was a featherweight bout between Yair Rodriguez and Patricio Pitbull. This was quite interesting because Yair Rodriguez is a former interim champion and Patricio Pitbull is a former Bellator champion, making his first ever debut in the UFC. So this was a very fun and exciting matchup. On the day of the fight, we had more of a tactical fight. Yair was a bit more active early, landing kicks and shots, while Pitbull secured a late takedown. The second round stayed close, with both guys getting takedowns and getting some good decent exchanges. But in the third round, that's when the tides truly shifted a lot. Yair stepped it up, dropping Pitbull, got the mount and landed vicious elbows continuously. Despite Pitbull threatening a submission, Yair stayed composed and secured the decision win. Solid performance from Yair, especially in the final round. Overall, still a very solid fight from both competitors. The next matchup on the card was a lightweight bout between Iron Michael Chandler versus Paddy the Badly Pimblett. This was a huge co-main event, because arguably, Michael Chandler is the most entertaining lightweight on the planet, and Paddy Pimblett is one of the most rising stars in the lightweight division to this date. Iron Michael Chandler wanted to prove that he's still at the top of his peak, even at his old age, and Paddy Pimblett wanted to show to the UFC that he's ready for the next step in his career. So arguably, this was UFC's matchmaking at its finest. Everybody wanted to see if the old dog still had new tricks, or if the new dog was ready to show that he's a beast and is ready for more. When the fight started, we had a nice back and forth in the first round. It kind of started off a little bit slow. Michael Chandler was a bit more patient, but Paddy was throwing a lot of low calf kicks, while Chandler eventually used his strength to kind of take down Paddy Pimblett and control him for a little bit. When we moved on to the second round, Paddy Pimblett started to go out a little bit more. He started implementing this jab, he started implementing more kicks, he started working Michael Chandler a lot more and being a lot more active. However, in classic Michael Chandler fashion, there was a moment where he did hit Paddy Pimblett in the nuts. It is a Michael Chandler matchup, so there's always a bit of controversy. Eventually, he did blitz Chandler, got the takedown, and he also reversed the position and locked in a nasty body triangle, and also threatening with a choke on Michael Chandler in the second round. When we got to the third round, Paddy landed a brutal knee, and this knee opened up Chandler. and then he slammed it on the ground, and he just started dominating Chandler with some vicious ground and pounds, and he ended up getting the finish on Iron Michael Chandler. This was truly a statement for Paddy Pimblett, because he did something that Oliveira couldn't do in his last matchup with Michael Chandler, who was coming off a 2-year layoff. He finished Michael Chandler in a dominant fashion, and he destroyed Michael Chandler. Throughout Michael Chandler's UFC run, say what you want to say about him, but he's been showing that he's still a top contender, and he was hurting a lot of the top guys. And he was so close to even becoming the lightweight champion at one point in time. And what Paddy Pimblett did to him at UFC 314 just showed the whole world that Michael Chandler shouldn't even be in the octagon with him that night. Paddy Pimblett truly proved the world wrong, and he ended up calling out fighters like Oliveira, Gaethje, and Dustin Poirier respectively, and it does seem that he's going to be a problem in the lightweight division for years to come. Before UFC 314 was announced, the featherweight champion of the world, Ilia Topuria, decided to vacate his championship. He himself stated that he felt like he's done everything in that division, and he wanted to go up to the lightweight division and conquer that division as well. This meant the featherweight championship of the world was up for grabs, and the UFC decided to announce Alexander the Great Volkanovski versus Diego Lopes. And can I just say, this fight absolutely delivered and ended up being a huge war. In the first round, Volk came out strong, fighting in the pockets, landing huge shots in round 1 that wobbled Diego Lopes multiple times. He eventually took down Diego and landed some huge, nasty ground and pound like he always does in his fights. In round 2, both guys were a little bit more measured. Volk was definitely a lot more active, landing some solid kicks, calf kicks, maintaining distance with his jabs. But towards the end of the round, Diego Lopes did drop him and ended up cutting Volkanovski under his eye. The third round was a huge firefight. Both guys were trading heavy shots, going back and forth, Diego Lopes swinging with his heart on the line and everything, while Volkanovski was a little bit more measured, a little bit more composed, landing his jabs and not trying to make it too much of a brawl. Diego Lopes did show amazing wrestling, stopping a lot of Volkanovski's takedowns and just showing incredible heart. In round 4, Diego Lopes knew he was down on the scorecards and started pushing the pace a little bit more, even hurting Volk and forcing him to retreat. It did seem Volkanovski did get grazed in the eye a little bit, and he did lose his vision, and that's why he was tending to retreat from Diego Lopes. But eventually the 5th round came in, and Diego Lopes continued to try to push the pace on Volkanovski by being the aggressor. But Volkanovski is too much of a veteran. He stayed composed, kept using his jab, implementing some kicks, fighting on the outside, not baiting into Diego Lopes' tactics of getting him to swing and brawl. Eventually, the fight came to an end, and Volkanovski was crowned the featherweight champion of the world and becoming a 2-time featherweight champion. Overall, this was an insane fight. Both fighters put it on the line. Diego Lopes truly showed to the world that he's still a top contender in the featherweight division, and Volkanovski just proved to everybody that he's not old man Volk, and he's ready to stay, and he's ready to defend that championship, and he's ready for so much more in the UFC. UFC 314 was truly an exciting card. It delivered on all ends. It had amazing stoppages, amazing victories, and just overall a main event that fans truly loved. UFC 314 truly delivered. From when the fights were being announced to the fights actually happening, everything about it was exciting, amazing, and just a true spectacle. The UFC 314 is something that will go down in the history books as one of the best cards in a long time. And overall, if I had to kind of rate this card out of 10, I would definitely give it a 10 out of 10. Usually, if the co-main event and the main event can deliver, I like to just give the whole card a 10 out of 10. Paddy the Baddy Pimblett truly showed to the world that he's a true contender in the lightweight division, especially doing what he did to Iron Michael Chandler. And Volkanovski, just breaking all the rules, being over the age of 35 and just showing to the world that he's still a top contender in the featherweight division and just reclaiming his throne was something truly exciting for fans to witness once again. Overall, an amazing pay-per-view, and I'm excited to see what comes next for the UFC. But thank you all so much for watching this video. That'll be it for today. Just comment down below some of your thoughts on UFC 314. What are some things you liked about it? What are some things you disliked about it? Were your predictions right? What are some moments that truly shocked you to your core? But that'll be it for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to keep it real.